Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's the Lions Legacy Podcast. I'm Adam, and I'm here with Caden. And today we're going to be discussing the schedule. We know it's been out for quite a bit now, and we've looked over it. And you know, me and Caden have talked about it a little bit, and we're gonna see what we think. We start off just to get right into it. We start off in Week 1 with the Rams. What do you think about the game, man? What do you think's gonna happen?
I think it'll be a good game like last year. We know it's going to be a tough challenge for our DB room, considering we have two rookies, Arnold getting first team reps
They
early
got
on,
Puka. They got Cooper Cup.
Puka.
You know that's a rough that's rough. Tutu Atwell, like just solid receivers. Like that's gonna be interesting. That'll be a good test for our corners. And obviously we know that we're not too sure on the injuries of them right now. But if they are ready for Week 1, that's definitely a challenge. But
You think
should
Blake
be
Corum sees
should
the
be a
field?
dub. I haven't been paying him much attention to him at camp, but maybe he's RB2 there. I'm not sure.
I'm not worried
I
though.
know they have
Our
Kyron
D line's
Williams,
good.
but.
Our D line's good.
Hey, bro, we just added DJ Reader. Obviously, we still have McNeil. Onzarike is rising up. Like, we'll be good. That's definitely a win for sure. It'll be we see Stafford again. We'll probably give him his welcome back video this time around.
Yeah, this time.
Now we're not in a playoff game, but that would definitely be a win. And then next game after that, just like the playoffs, we get the Buccaneers. Kind of the same thing. It's just
Back to back
another.
home games.
That's a little 2-0. That's just a little 2-0. We got their starting corner from last year. It'll be nice to see him play against them. Should be another W. Did pretty well against them. Nothing too
Yeah.
much. Anything you want to say about them, really?
Back to back home games is good for us to start the year.
Yeah, it's a good confidence booster for sure against two teams that we knew made the playoffs and that we played against, and we know that they're still solid opponents, but
The
should still be
Buccaneers
two
didn't really get
wins.
better. The Buccaneers didn't really make any additions.
They didn't really do too much. They didn't really. They're not getting too much better. They still have Baker Mayfield,
They
right?
lost
They're not.
their corner.
Yeah, to us now we can have somebody else guarding Mike Evans this time around, and
We
somebody
don't
else
have
guarding
we
Puka.
don't have Cam Sutton guarding
We're
Mike Evans.
finally done with him. We don't have to worry about all of that. Now we can make a little reset. We have Meek Robertson. Obviously, we had Don Carlton Davis and we got our rookies. Should be another little dub for sure.
Hey,
And
hey,
then what's up?
don't get me started. Don't get me started on week 3. The
Cardinals?
Cardinals,
Are you
come
serious?
on. Away,
That's our
we're going
first
to
away.
Arizona.
Hey, that's you know what I gotta say for us. That's a pretty solid away game. First away game.
First away game, I'll take it.
A little nice little solid one. Not nothing too biased here. I think we're looking pretty good. Uh, we got we got the Seahawks Monday Night Football at next. So we're looking at a cool little 3-0 right now, but we got the Seahawks. Man, talk about them. We know we have problems with them every time. It's always them. We can't beat them. I don't know how many years it's been since we've beaten them now. It's been rough.
I can't stand the Seahawks. Geno Smith, I hate him.
Tyler Lockett every time. Every single time this guy Tyler Lockett kills us. Every single time.
And
Every
it's
time.
always the worst because it's always a home game for us.
Always. And we have another one too
As of
on
lately,
Monday
it's
Night
been
Football.
home games, dude.
Yep, we have another home game too, and it'll be another interesting matchup. We think we finally pull this one out. I gotta say, I think we do finally. If we can as long as as long as we're looking healthy and we have everybody looking good, I think we should finally get one against the Seahawks. We've only gotten better, and everything looks a lot better in terms of what we added. And games have been with the Seahawks have been close every single time. It's just a matter of finally pulling it off. Finally, what do you think?
I mean, last year we should have beat them. So this year, I think we definitely should beat them because we're way better than them now.
Yeah, yeah. Like as long as like we're looking solid like on injuries and stuff, that we should get another win. We should get another win. Obviously, we know that not every week is guaranteed and that we know we're playing, but the Seahawks should finally get taken care of. And then the rematch. We know we constantly get screwed against these guys every single time. We can't escape it. It's just we just seem to have great luck. The refs are always on our side. The Dallas Cowboys, we see them. What do you think?
I think it's
I
going
don't
to
even.
be
I'm
that's
on the fence right now.
that's I'm the most excited for that game. Coming off the bye week because we have early bye this year, week 5. So coming off a bye week, I think Dan Campbell is going to do everything he can to. He's going to use that bye week to his advantage to get extra week of preparation for the Cowboys, and we're going to go to Dallas and we're going to beat their ass.
Oh, another. You know what? I've been so just down. I'm so ready to just beat them. It's so dumb every time we lose against them. We always have it. It's always right there, and we always just get screwed. We got to take care of this one, man. We got to take care of this one. And if you think about it, we go back to last year's game. It was all very close, but remember that one huge deep ball play they had with CeeDee Lamb where Derek Barnes, I guess, just
Barnes
forgot how
missed a
to
sack.
tackle. He forgot how to tackle, right? He forgot. And we had what I think it was Vildor. I think we had Vildor guarding CeeDee.
Yeah, I don't know
No,
why
no,
Kendall Vildor would ever be matched up with CD Lamb 1-on-1.
dude, we should be a little bit more. We should be a little bit more solid. Like we
At least
gotta,
have Sutton. At least have Sutton on him.
yeah. Like that's ridiculous. And that's even and that's insane. Like
Sutton's horrible.
we know Cam Sutton buns. I think I think we take a win. I think we finally get another double. Hey, we're undefeated right now, but but it's all looking good. This all we've done is gotten better, and all of these teams we know essentially what they are and how they've if they've gotten better. You know the Cardinals got a little bit better, but come on, Marvin Harris, come no. No, the Rams, the Buccaneers, the Cowboys, all of these teams haven't gotten better. The Seahawks haven't gotten better. None of these teams, like all we've done is adding up. Obviously, we could have a game that gets mixed in that we lose, but the Lions, if we can just finally just we're always just right there with all of these games. But another should be another close one. Get another dub. That's in Dallas. In
In
Dallas will
Dallas,
be an
yes.
interesting one. And then we take on the Vikings in week 7. That's away. Our first division game, what do you think we see out of that? We know we played them twice, and both of them weren't necessarily blowouts. Neither of them were. The second game obviously was more us. We took care of that one. Even that was still a little bit close. But Nick Mullins was the starting quarterback. We know JJ McCarthy got surgery. We don't know necessarily the timetable, but we're going into Minnesota for our first division game. What do you think for that?
That's one of the ones I'm not sure on because who knows how their quarterback situation looks? Who knows how JJ ends up looking? Who knows? They have Sam Darnold as their other quarterback, so I'm not really worried about Sam Darnold. They have Jefferson, obviously. We have good secondary now. Obviously, that's another tough matchup for Arnold. Whoever's on him, that's a tough matchup. Even for Carlton Davis, that's a tough matchup.
Everybody, like it's
And
just
then
there's no matter who you put on Jefferson, like it's gonna be
it's
a tough one.
away.
Like,
It's a
no matter.
division game. It's a divisional game. Those games, the divisional games, I can never even put a W or L on. Those games go either way because we've seen it last year. You seen how? Remember how bad we looked on Thanksgiving? Horrible.
We always know that there's always going to be the games that just get mixed in where we don't look good. We know with Jared Goff, obviously the man is solid. We know we can essentially trust him. He's been very good for us, but obviously you're going to have bad games, and we see when they're bad, they're really bad. You know, when we
The
lost to
Bears
the
game.
Bears, we essentially just completely fell apart.
Didn't he
And
have three
you know,
picks
with
in the game we won?
I think it was 2 or 3. I think it was 2 or 3. I think he fumbled one of them too. I'm not too sure about
Yes, he
that
had a
though.
fumble. He had a fumble. He had a fumble.
We came all the way back, but it's like it's against the Bears. It was like watching that game. It was like you have to win. You have to win. There's no way you lose. But then obviously we went into Chicago. It looked fine in the first half, and then we just fell apart. And it
Yeah,
happens. But
that happens with us
that
often though. The way we finish games is really weird.
and even the Packers too. Like the Packers throughout the entire game, it just wasn't like great, and we stayed with it too. Like it wasn't as like crazy as like you may have thought. Like a lot of our bad games too. Like we're not getting blown out. Besides, you know,
The
obviously
Ravens.
Baltimore last year, who yeah, that manhandled our ass. But Vikings, I think we probably I think we might lose this one. off the sheer fact of us like it being a division game, us going out to Minnesota and us just not knowing what we're gonna get, we've gotten better. But we should win. We're better. We're obviously better than all. We're better than all of these teams on paper. But Minnesota is just one of those tricky games, and I think we're at like 6-1 right here right now.
Yeah,
We're looking at or five and
5 and
one,
1.
5-1 right now, and then next week after that we take on Tennessee in Detroit. Is there much to say about this one?
I don't have words. They got Calvin Ridley.
W.
That's about all they added.
Will
Actually,
Levis,
they got Tony
interesting.
Pollard. Tony Pollard.
They're interesting. They're
Yeah,
interesting. Don't
they're, they're
necessarily write them off. They're a tricky one, but in Detroit should be a bounce back win after getting reality checked against Minnesota. And that's a cool little 6-1 we got going on here. And then the Packers. The Packers we take on week 9 in Green Bay. Ooh, we know went into Green Bay last year, and we're destroying them. Actually, they came back a little bit. We kind of took our foot off the gas. We still won by a pretty good margin, but then we went on to the next game and Thanksgiving, where we can just never win. We can never win in Thanksgiving
it's a
ever.
curse.
But it didn't look good, and we know obviously they're solid. We saw what Green Bay. We saw them beat Dallas. We saw them make it a very good game against San Fran. They've gotten better. Very tough matchup going into Green Bay, man. What do you think?
You see, I think this is one of the ones that we might lose this one in
It's
Lambeau
tough,
too.
man.
It's yeah, you
We
never
gotta
know
take.
with the divisional games. You can be better than them on paper, but it doesn't. You never know what you're going to see from a division rival ever.
I think we might end up getting a win out of Minnesota, and it might and Green Bay might being an L, or vice versa. It's just with these divisional games are tricky. We'd obviously we're better than all of these teams. We're better than all of these teams, but it's football, and we know
On
even as
paper,
good as you are, any team can win on any given night. And the Kansas City Chiefs, like what they had 4 or 5 losses. How much did they have? They had around there. I mean, they lost games. They had games that they lost to the Raiders last year. It shows you that anything can happen. But we're looking at maybe another L. We're looking at what 6-2 right here on going on week 10. Going on week 10, we have the Houston Texans
in Houston too. In Houston too.
in Houston. We haven't seen them, I believe, since what, Thanksgiving of 2019 or 2020. Was it the COVID year? I don't necessarily
I think it
remember. I think
was.
it was the COVID year. Yeah, we got destroyed against them, but we saw it was kind of crazy. All since then, they've completely changed their roster. They traded Deshaun Watson and completely went into a rebuild with. They got C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson. They drafted Tank Dell, Nico Collins. They got solid thing going on there. Got Joe Mixon.
Diggs.
They're getting a line. Stephon Diggs they added on. The Texans are scary,
Daniil
but
Hunter now from the Vikings. They got
Daniil
Daniil
Hunter.
Hunter.
Hey, but I want to say this though. Daniil Hunter is good, but we see what Penei Sewell can do. Obviously, there'll be Will Anderson on the next side, but Taylor Decker also put Will Anderson on Taylor Decker, or even Daniil Hunter, and Taylor Decker can stand his ground quite a bit. And obviously, he was a little up and down last year. Still was solid for us, and has been good for us over his time. But the Texans are a tough matchup, and they have solid edge rushers. They'll give us pressure for sure, but what do you think? Yeah, I think we take this one out. I think this is a statement win against
I
Houston.
think this. I think this win. This is definitely a statement win. It's primetime game. Statement win going into Houston. I think this might end up being what the Chargers game was last year. A nice little shootout.
Oh yeah, too. We
Just because
hadn't we
both
didn't know
teams,
necessarily we didn't know necessarily either what we thought. Like we didn't know if we were gonna win. Like we knew that this was gonna be a tough one. We knew it, and it was throughout the entire game.
because there's teams like that have like they're insane on paper, but their record is really bad and some teams tend to overlook them, and we came out on top of that game, so that was good. So
Yep.
I
Oh,
think this year, the Houston game is the Chargers game, which is a nice shootout,
yeah.
back and forth.
We got so yeah, what set we got a cool 7-2 going on right now. Looking good, looking good. Take on Jacksonville in the next week at
Home too.
home. They're good. They're solid. They're solid. We take this one. I think we definitely take this one. The Jaguars are solid, but as long as Jared Goff doesn't have an abysmal performance, or as long as that's not happening and we're not injured a bunch, that Jacksonville's a W. Anything you want to say on Jacksonville?
I'm not
Should
worried.
be a
They
little
lost their
solid. They
wide
just they
receiver
just
one.
they paid that man. They paid that man, Trevor Lawrence. He's solid, but like after the 1 year, he took him to the playoffs. He was okay. He was all right, and then he's just kind of been he's been all right. He's been solid, but like nothing. Not Jared Goff. Not Jared Goff. He's all right, but he's nothing like that. And then the next week we take on Indianapolis, and that's away. Haven't necessarily.
The one thing that's weird for the Colts is the fact that every time we play a mobile quarterback, our defense goes brain dead. We see it with Dustin Fields. Mahomes was carving us. Brock Purdy was carving us.
Like everybody,
Lamar was carving us.
anybody that can just move a little bit. Like it's just anybody really that can just move.
And they have
And
Anthony.
you know,
They have Anthony Richardson. He's fast.
yeah, we know he can move. Obviously we got better with our D line. Our pass rush should definitely be better. We have more of an interior line too. The getting to the quarterback should be a lot better this year. Um, Indianapolis is I think they might be a tricky one. I think that's another one we take out. I think that's another one we take out. They're interesting. Another one we take out. You think another? You think that's a little dub there?
That's definitely a dub. I'm not worried about the Colts. I'm not worried about the Colts.
I'm not. And then we take on the Bears in Week
Thanksgiving Day.
13.
Thanksgiving Day.
Thanksgiving Day. We know I should have done my research before, but I don't know. We just cannot win on Thanksgiving Day. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but I think it's time to break the curse. I'm not having it with the Bears. The Bears are
I
interesting.
hate the Bears.
Obviously we see I can't stand them. They're interesting. They've gotten better. They're definitely making noise for sure with their acquisitions. But like I said, if anything, I'm more worried about Green Bay. I'm more worried about Green Bay as a team in our division. But Chicago, man, like these games are tricky. But we have to. This is the one we have to take out. This is one we have to take out.
This is a must. That's a must-win game. The Bears got way better in this offseason compared to last year. They made a lot of accusations in the offseason. They got safety help, Kevin Byard. They got Rome Odunze, Caleb Williams. So if Caleb Williams has a good O line this year, I think it might make it tricky on the league, because if he plays like a number one overall pick behind a good O line with Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, and DJ Moore, that could be dangerous.
They're scary. You think we take that one though?
I think we break the curse. We break the
Finally,
curse.
finally,
And
finally.
then
We're looking on
we go into week 14. We have Green Bay coming to Detroit.
Green Bay coming to. You know what? We had them. I had them. We obviously had them losing to Green Bay going into
Lambeau.
Lambeau, but now we get our revenge game. This is a W. They're good, obviously, but I think we take this one back at Ford Field. This is definitely going to be a game that you need to win, considering we already have them losing two division games right now, and you got to take this one. You have to take this one. At this point, of the season, everything looks interesting. If although you just had Chicago. You just had Chicago too, and we need to continue to make. We're gonna at this point we're gonna continue to make noise because we've already lost 2 games in our division. But we're obviously just building up off of momentum against Chicago, and we take this one. We take this one going into Ford Field, and going into Week 15. There's Buffalo. There is Buffalo. I'm gonna let you talk on this one. I'm gonna let you
All
talk
right.
on this one.
So I think for this one, I think the Lions do have it. The Bills did lose some pieces. They can't rely on Josh Allen for everything. So I think the Lions defense holds up. If they take care of the running quarterback situation, they don't have to worry about much. They have rookie receiver Keon Coleman, they have young tight end Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox. Other than that, offensively they don't have much. Curtis Samuel, James Cook. I think we match up better than they would against us.
I like the I think we're also we're better than the Bills on paper, and as good as I think we are, we might this might be a little interesting one. That I think the Lions do take out. It'll be an interesting one. They are good, but just kind of on the same stuff we're looking at here. The Bills are good, but just building off of what we had. I think after the 2 games, beating the Bears and beating the Packers, you realize that that you can take care of business, and that we already have to lock in. We know what we have going on, but I have the Lions taking this one as well. And what we're looking at quite a bit of wins here. We only have 2 losses so far on that. It's what, Vikings and Green Bay.
Yeah, but the last couple weeks we have a hard. The Bills game, honestly, I think we win that, but that's one of the games that you can go either way. That's one of the ones that can go either way. You never know. With decent teams, if they're decent teams, you'll never know how they'll play. Like you if they're like in the middle, like going into the Bills, like I don't know how I feel about the Bills this year. I don't. They lost
Yeah,
their number. They lost their number one wide receiver, like Diggs. Like they actually lost Diggs.
and even then, even when they had Diggs, we made it a competition. It was close. We remember
Yeah,
Thanksgiving Day, the one we lost against. We lost again, but it was a good
was in
game. It was
attendance.
a good
Was in
game, and
attendance that day.
was in attendance. But for even though we were in attendance for that L, I think we'll be in attendance at home for this victory. You know what I'm saying? I like the Bills. Like, they're a solid team, but it's a
The Lions
W.
got
And
it.
then
Lions got it. Lions got it.
yep, we're looking at a cool 12, like what, 12-2 right now. 12-2 right now, going into week 16. And
So
Chicago
it'd be
again,
13. We'd have 13 wins then.
13.
There we go.
13 what? Yeah. So we're at 13, and then we have the Bears coming up in week 16, or at home. Or we're away for that one.
We're away for the Bears game
Another
this time.
division game. Another division game. Another one we're gonna kind of have to take out. Who knows what the Packers are looking like at this point? The Packers could obviously have games like us with other division teams where where they might be struggling, or a Viking, the Vikings can win some games too, but it's anything could be weird. The Packers it should be the next team that should be the team that's next to us, and then the Bears, and then we look at the Vikings last. They're interesting there at the quarterback. I might even have to go back and revert my Vikings pick and take that as a W, and then give the Bills, or give the Bills like that, or an L, or one of these games that you see that's
It's
kind of
gonna
mixed,
be
that
the
that's
one
kind
of
of
the
mixed
games
in.
that we lose. We know we're gonna lose a game that's gonna be dumb.
It's weird. They're all
We're gonna
stupid,
lose to a
bro. It's
bad.
all dumb.
We're gonna lose to a weird team. We're gonna lose to like the Titans or like the Colts or something weird. Just because that's
Yeah,
how the Lions are.
it's stupid. It's
We
weird.
always we always
It's
lose to teams we're supposed to beat.
always. always, and it's like with even the games that we think that we're supposed to with the Saints, we were taking care of them. That game got so close. That game got so close, and then obviously we look at the Bears. We were losing all of that game, and then we finally came all the way back. But it's like you're doing all of that, and some games obviously you'll be able to break. You'll be able to just be like, all right, let's lock in. But then there'll be games where it's like Green Bay, and on Thanksgiving last year, or it's game, or where it's games like that, and you have something going, and then you just completely fall, or you don't have anything going completely throughout the entire game. You just have nothing.
The Ravens
You
game.
just have nothing.
The Ravens game. That was bad.
So with the Bears, be
That's another.
another
That's a
interesting.
late
It's
in
an
the year.
interesting one, bro.
Late in the dude. I'm about to call that a win.
Call that a win. I'm gonna take that as a win too. I'm gonna also say that's another win.
Remember, everyone watching, this is if we win the games we're supposed to win.
This is if we're supposed to win. Like we could. It's so like it's with a lot of these games. It's so hard to like necessarily be realistic, because if we're being realistic, we're going off of what we're saying, and off of and we're going off of like actually just rosters, and maybe and just matchups. And we know obviously how we have problems with like running quarterbacks, and why a game like the Colts could be weird, or a game like the Titans could be very close, or we just lose division games that we're supposed to win, even though we should take care of our division and win it. There'll be games where these are still good teams. Our division's only gotten better, and we lost last year. We got better, but we still lost 2 division games, and we still had a lot of games that were close. And I feel with the division games, we'll lose some, but most of them we'll take care of, and there'll be some in the mix where we're like, that we should win. They or be a team like the Colts, or even a team like the Jaguars, where we're like we should win, but then it's like Jared Goff threw 3 picks, or we're fumbling, or the defense. We can have games where it's defense. Anything can happen. We could go for it 50 times and just continue to go for it, and it won't work. You know what I'm saying? We can just drop.
Mm-hmm.
There's things that happen. Things happen. You have bad games. It's all weird with the schedule. I'm at like so going into week 16. I think we win that. I think at this point, what we have, I think we'll probably have 3 losses at this point. I think 3 losses is probably what we'll be at this point. Um,
Yeah, I
it's
think we
oh,
finished. I think we finished the year with 4 losses.
4 lot. Yeah, we'll get. Yeah, it's with overall with the 4 losses. It's like we lost 5 last year. We've only gotten better. It makes sense. Just us getting a little bit better. Getting a little bit better. Yeah, teams like have gotten we have some interesting matchups, and we'll get into another interesting matchup coming up. But we've only gotten better. We've only gotten better. And going into this next game for week 17, we
Oh,
have our NFC Championship rematch. I want to really get into this one, man. We know obviously what happened last year. We were together for the entire thing. The entire thing. You know, we watched that game, and Jameson Williams had that touchdown. We were going crazy. We scored again. Things were going well. We were up 24-7 at halftime. And what did we and what happened after that? I want to know what happened after that. Let me know. What happened after that? What happened once halftime hit? What did we
the
say to each other?
conversation. The conversation we had was something along the lines of us knowing we were going to lose the game, even though we were up by 17 points going into halftime.
A Lions thing. A Lions thing. You know what? We had the momentum. We were up by 24-7 going in the second half. We thought obviously we shouldn't win this game. We knew what the 49ers were. We completely went in and shocked San Fran. We completely shocked everybody. We were destroying them. And it was just you knew we somehow had the feeling of
A common theme with the Lions is every time they have a lead, they always take their foot off the gas. Every time. Every time they have a nice, comfortable lead, they always take their foot off the gas, and that's when it gets close, and that's when we allow comebacks, and that's when we lose games because we. I don't know if Ben Johnson stops calling all the crazy plays or like what happens. I don't know.
Obviously sometimes Josh Reynolds catches the ball and stuff. Sometimes he catches it. Sometimes he catches the ball. We know obviously
Yeah,
this
on third and fourth down, especially in the NFC Championship
like
game.
you're gonna have some drops, and there's gonna be some times where it's not necessarily like just things are happening, and it's not a scheme thing. You're just not looking good. But there's a lot of time. You're right. There's so many times where we're up the entire time. Like I said, I mentioned the Saints game, or there's times where we come out flat-footed as well and
The
have to
Packers game, the
completely
Packers game last
step
year,
it
we were
up.
blowing them out.
That's what I'm saying. Took the foot off the gas. We took the foot off the gas, and then things will happen too. Where when things get bad, they get bad. When we had the Seahawks game too, we have an interception and then they score. And in the San Fran game from when it was 24-7, we have a crazy bounce off the helmet of Kendall Vildor to go into Brandon Ayuk's hands for a touchdown. Originally, we thought it was a pass interference. It wasn't. It got called back, and he caught the ball.
That made me even more mad, knowing that they picked up the flag and he actually caught the ball. That made me the most
Dude, at
mad.
at first I was like, that's crazy. But I saw the flag. So I
Hey,
was like,
me and him knew we lost. Another time we knew we lost is right when CJ Gardner Johnson said to the 49ers fans.
like, it was weird. Obviously yeah, no, that was awful. But it was weird watching that. It was like I knew it, but
I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to believe it, yo.
didn't want to
I was
believe
sitting
it.
there. I knew it. I didn't want to believe it.
But going into this game, I another tough one. We're really looking good at this point.
We're still
This
curious
is
to see what happens with Ayuk, so that could help. Because Brock Purdy, it shows that every time one of his main weapons are out, he does significantly worse. Even if just one of them are out, one. So we'll have to
it's
see what happens with Ayuk. Ayuk is on the market right now, so we have to see what's happening with him here in the Steelers. So if they lose Ayuk, you never know what you're getting from Purdy because he's not good without all his weapons. That's shown.
Yep, and we're gonna have to see they've been revisiting contract negotiations, and we don't know necessarily what's gonna happen. We heard trades that apparently that fell through a little bit, and they've revisited contract negotiations, but we don't know. And obviously, there could be a time where we just obviously don't know what's going on with the team at that point. But I think we lose this one. I think another very close game. I don't think this is not obviously will be one that we hold our heads about, but it probably be one that we end up falling through on.
Hey,
It'll be a
all I gotta
very
say,
interesting at this point. We need to win. It'll be a very interesting too because obviously we're gonna need it'll be fighting for seeding. But with the way our record is looking at the point, at this point, this could be one that we're free to just kind of chill out.
if some magical way we can see the 49ers in the playoffs in Detroit, I promise you we're winning that game. They always make us go away for all the big games.
Bro, I swear, they give us every time, every single year they make us anytime we play Dallas, we always go to Dallas. We're going to Houston. We had to play Kansas City and Arrowhead last year. Like
Mm-hmm.
when are we gonna get a break? When are we gonna get a break? But San Fran probably take the L there. Probably take the L there. And then week 18.
Week 18,
Week
Vikings
18.
W.
Vikings W. We'll be at home for that. So little 13-4 record. I don't think that's too bad. Obviously there'll be some games that we have no idea. There'll be some games where that just sneak in. Like there's be some weird teams. It's the Lions, but just going off of everything, off of everything we got. Best we could do. Best we could do. We have definitely a very bright future. Very, very bright future, but definitely should have a very, very good season this year. Anything else you got?
13-4. Super Bowl
Justin,
champions.
Super Bowl. trust in Brad Holmes, trust in Dan Campbell, and we're all set, man. We'll all be good. Stay healthy, and we should be all right. All we've done is gotten better. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Hey, it's Adam. I'm with Caden, and as always, we'll see you guys again soon. Appreciate you guys tuning in.